But you're not dancing.
I am dancing. I am dancing.
Coming to you from the hideout.
Woo!
The hideout.
We are
official.
We're official.
Oh, yeah.
We're sitting in the hideout, the official hideout of the Gunslingers. Coming to you from their location, not in the wild, wild western side of San Antonio right now.
It's a little wild.
But we're in the hideout, and it is wild around here.
Is.
Oh, yeah.
We are the Smokin Gunz podcast, and we're coming to you from the Gunslingers offices, from the hideout, we've been calling it. That's what we're going to call it. If they don't going to call it that, that's fine, but that's what we're going to call it.
I dare you to come look for us.
And it's Christmas.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Like all things told, we are coming to you on Monday before Christmas, but you're most likely listening to this on Wednesday, which means tomorrow is Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And traditionally on the calendar, Christmas Eve is followed by Christmas. I don't know what 2020 is going to do with that.
You never
but
know. Something else might
that's
come up.
typically the way it goes.
Typically.
They're listening to this while they're getting the cookies and the milk ready.
You are. You should be.
Wrapping up gifts.
Yeah.
Making pies.
Some people still shopping.
Yeah, well, I don't know who.
Me. I'll tell you me.
I know.
And it's not a matter of being lazy and not wanting to shop. It's just all of my Christmas bonus money comes in on the second half of December.
Oh, wow.
So that's when I have the opportunity to go shop.
I hear you.
And I told you guys before we started talking, you know, I will take that over not having the Christmas bonus money to go shop with. So,
for sure.
But that's when it hits. Yeah, it is. This is our last show of the year.
That sounds
our
crazy.
last show of 2020.
Crazy to me.
Goodbye, 2020.
Yeah, that's true.
I read something online yesterday, I think, that said tradition in, I think it was Ireland, is to leave the front door open on New Year's Eve.
Really?
So that the old year can find its way out and the new year can find its way in.
I'm going to open all the windows, all
and
the doors.
The rest of this meme said this may be the year to open every window and door in the house.
Window and
I'm
door.
opening the garage
just
door.
so it finds its way out.
Get out.
Some arrows pointing, exit this way.
We are the Smokin Gunz podcast. We are a podcast about San Antonio football, specifically the brand of San Antonio football in and around the San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League. And we're going to talk lots about all of those things today.
I'm excited.
We are a general football podcast, but we don't really have any general football to talk about. Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because we need to talk about what a wreck college football is.
Yep.
Okay.
We need to talk about UTSA. They got a bowl game coming up.
They had a very good year.
My
they
team
did.
won.
And
Season.
what, your team, Taft?
The Bears? Well, I'm just jumping to the Bears.
Oh, she's jumping to the NFL. already.
Jumping into the NFL.
Yeah.
So we do have some general football to talk about, but we will spend a majority of our show talking about the San Antonio Gunslingers because that's what we are. We are Gunslingers fans.
Yep.
The greatest thing to happen to San Antonio football. Here's the thing. This is the last show of the year, and this is the last year that there will not be San Antonio-specific pro football. Like, for the foreseeable future, we will have pro football in San Antonio past 2020. 2021, the Gunslingers kick off, and they're not going anywhere.
That's true.
So this is the last show of the last year of no professional football in San Antonio.
That's exciting.
When we get back on the air here in a couple of weeks,
That's it.
it will be 2021, the year of professional football
Gunslingers.
in San Antonio.
Yeah, we'll be talking
San Antonio.
when the season starts later this year, not next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Provided, asterisk,
The
COVID.
enemy.
Yeah.
The enemy, that's
Provided the enemy COVID gives us an opportunity to do those things. And we'll talk about what effect that is having on some of this. But let's start in the past, because that's always a good place to start. 2 weeks ago when we got together, it's funny, a lot can happen in 2 weeks.
true. A lot can happen in a day.
Well, it can. That's true. But 2 weeks ago, we did not know we were going to have a gunslinger specific event that has now already happened and been a huge success.
Oh, yeah.
On, I don't remember the date. It was probably the day
It was a
after
cold day.
our last episode came out, a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Yeah, because it was a day of practice.
Yeah.
It was Thursday.
Our coach, head coach, and the president of the Gunslingers, Tony Hernandez, was just headed to the gym over on Potranco.
Yep, early in the morning.
And he saw some smoke out behind, I think it was Sonic.
Yeah, he said it's Sonic. Yep.
Kind of Sonic.
And so he went to investigate and found a lady that is homeless.
Correct.
Who was cold.
Very cold.
And had set a small fire to keep warm inside her tent.
Yes.
Now you can make any comments you want to about how reckless that is. It is pretty reckless behavior. But when that's all you got.
That's all you got.
And you're that cold, that seems like an okay idea. You feel like you can control it.
Sounds good. You
and
know?
we don't know how many times she's been able to do that and been okay before, but we know that she was cold enough that she felt like that was a good idea. Her tent caught fire.
While she's in it.
Yeah, she was trapped in it.
And Coach Tony Hernandez was able to get his weight belt out and around her legs, pull her from the tent because he didn't go inside the tent because that would be a bad idea. And dragged her out. And as they were talking with her, they got her some medical attention. All she could say over and over again was, I was just so cold.
I think her name is Linda.
I was just so cold. And so that bothered the coach. And that night he posted it on social media. All of you have seen it at this point. If you follow us, you've seen it.
He talked about it at practice too. Yeah.
All of us. He talked about it. Yeah. That evening at practice. And he decided that he wanted to see something happen. And so
make a change.
He got on the horn with Coach's Corner, which is a great place for the coach to go when he wants to do something.
His buddies.
He got connected with Coach's Corner. He got connected with Deco Pizza. He got through social media. He asked us to get that information out there, as well as the gunslingers. And within a week and a half, put together a blanket drive.
Right. And was it Stephen Michael? And then Ruben Esquivel?
Ruben, yeah, from the San Antonio Tundra.
Yes.
Yeah, the Tundra organization got involved. The Tundra Tailgate Club.
It's a San Antonio Tundra Club, I believe.
There you go. And they got involved. And so that was this weekend, this past weekend. And I'll be honest with you. So here's a couple of things I know. I know blankets are cheap right now. If you want to go get blankets for $2 or $3, you can at Walmart, at Academy. Those fleece blankets, they're not expensive. I also know everybody is shopping right now. So you're in the stores and you have the ability to, swing by and throw a couple in your basket.
Right.
I also know everybody is busy like crazy in December.
True.
So I really had no idea. I knew that there was the ability to do something about all of this, and make this happen. But, my whole life is in ministry, especially, is planning events and when are people going to show up and when are they not. And so I've done this for a long time, and December is not a time that you put events.
Yeah.
You shy away from events when you can.
People are busy.
So I didn't know what kind of response they were going to see. Leo, you got to go out there and spend some time out there. I wasn't able to make it at all. Did you?
I did.
RC,
I was
did
just
you get
only
out
able
there?
to drop off some blankets. I dropped off 5 blankets.
But you seem like you and Dolores were out there for a while.
We were there for about an hour. The plan was just to drop off. Had some things going on that day, but we wanted to order some wings. And
the wings got
the wings were really good.
Raspberry chipotle wings.
The raspberry chipotle. Actually, we did a half and half. Okay. A raspberry chipotle and then the other mango habanero. Those were really good too. But
Deco Pizza. You got good food.
Yeah, but right now the situation, it's been like that the last couple times we've gone, where you're gonna wait a little bit. They don't have a huge amount of wait staff. COVID. They have to spread people out, and it's a bit of a wait. So we waited a little while for our wings. There was another gentleman there who was asking about our wait time because he had been waiting for a while, and I just told him, hey, be patient, but it's worth the wait. So we were there for a little bit because we were waiting on the wings. Got our drinks early, and as soon as we got those, the plan was to just take them to go and head on to do our business. But while we were there, I went live with a video, and just the short time that we were there, the San Antonio Tundra Club, they showed up, those guys in force, and lots of people had come up. I mean, just within the first half hour, they had a huge amount of donations. By the time we left, they had the little they kind of built it up like
a mountain,
like a pyramid,
Yeah.
of all these blankets, and people brought in comforters. There were sleeping bags, all kinds of things that you could sleep in and stay warm. And I mean, the response was just overwhelming. I don't think anybody was expecting to get the type of response that they did. Well over 1,000 blankets.
Yeah, I want to say the final count was 1,045
45,
that day.
Yeah.
And I know there's still more coming in, basically because I have some friends who have contacted me and said, hey, we have blankets. We just can't make it out there.
Right.
And I'm going to swing around and pick those up. I just haven't been able to do that yet because, as we just mentioned, it's December and it's kind of busy. That's great. That's an incredible response. As far as folks who might be upset about the wait time at Deco Pizza, I've been there once.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something a long time ago, especially in food service.
Mm-hmm.
You can have quality, speed, or a decent price, cheap. You can sometimes get two of those. You will never get all three.
No.
You're not going to get it fast, good, and cheap.
It's
just not going to happen. You can have, you might can have two of those. You might be able to get it fast and good, but it won't. It'll take some time to get to you. I'm sorry. You might be able to have it fast and good, but it's going to cost you something.
Yep.
You might be able to have it cheap and good, but it's going to take some time. You might be able to have it cheap and fast, but it's not going to be very good.
That's true.
There's a lot of those.
You're just not going to get all three of those things. So Deco Pizza, they spend some time on their food. You want them to.
Yeah.
Now, when you said drinks, you mean alcoholic drinks?
No, it was way too early in the day.
It was nude.
No, not at all. I had an iced tea, and I think Dolores had the same.
See, that wait seems shorter when you're drinking. I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's true.
So
That's true.
So the night this happened, we were out at practice. You and I were there, Leo, and I remember the coach came up to the ownership, to Jason specifically, and said, hey, I know I told you we weren't going to do any more this year as far as 2020.
He did say that.
But here's what happened. And then he kind of laid out the story because they hadn't seen the post on social media yet. And to his credit and to the Gunslingers' credit, this is the kind of guys they are. They had been told, like, Coach had told them that we're not going to do any more charity stuff this year.
Yeah, they had just done the toy drive that we talked
Right.
about last time. Yeah.
To his credit and to the Gunslingers' credit, Jason heard the story, what Coach wanted to do, and said, we're in. He didn't think about it. He didn't hem and haw. He didn't pull out the books and see what kind of hit they could afford to absorb, any of that kind of stuff. He said, we're in.
Yeah.
awesome.
Put us down.
Yeah, and he was there at the event too. Him and Hector were both there.
They were there.
So that's incredible. That's just incredible to me, simply because I know right now putting together a professional football team takes a certain outlay of money, time,
and effort.
You recoup that money by selling sponsorship, ad time on a broadcast, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, and by selling tickets. Yep. They haven't been able to do a lot of any of that right now. So they are laying out a lot of money, which is what you do. You build a business. I'm not asking for anybody to cry for them. That's what building a business is. They know that, and everybody understands that. But to be able to, without hesitation, say we're in on a pop-up charity kind of event, we're willing to do whatever you need us to do. That's a big deal to me. Like I found that they keep surprising me with the ways that they take care of some of this stuff.
Absolutely. And it's a testament to the motive of this group. It's a testament to what their objective is. There's still a lot of people out there. I've seen comments in groups. I've seen like, well, where are they going to play? You know, they're trying to pull stuff out, and some are generally like, they're generally wanting to know. Sure. But I think there are others who are trying to say, come on, guys, they haven't told us where they're going to play yet. You know, they're trying to discredit the team. And all the evidence that you need to look for is out there in what they've done so far. Things like this, they're not the pack up and leave type of organization. They're not trying to make a quick buck and then disappear. That's not happening right now. They're engaged with the community. They're contributing. They're putting out more than what they're taking in.
They are.
Exactly.
You know, and they're trying to build something that's going to last and represent the city of San Antonio the way that they think the city deserves to be represented.
They're definitely forming a relationship with the city of San Antonio. And people are seeing that. They're not just like fly by, we're just going to play football. They're really invested in the community and along with the team. And even the team players showed up. The family members of the team players show up. So I get the sense of family from the get-go. And when they do things like this for the community and for that homeless person, I told Coach, I said, it was a blessing and there's always a rainbow. And this was the rainbow. I mean, yes, she was homeless. Yes, she started a fire. She could have really hurt herself. But the rainbow is that we were able to collect over 1,000 blankets, and it wasn't just one group, it was all of us. We really felt like a team, really felt like a family.
And look, if this is all that comes out of this, if for some reason COVID or we've all been duped and all of this falls apart right now, some really amazing things have already happened for the city of San Antonio out of this. It seems like small potatoes. It's not. I guarantee you, if you were so cold, if you were homeless and so cold that you felt like your best bet was setting a fire inside your tent and you have a blanket out of this, that's huge. I know it sounds like small potatoes to gather 1,000 blankets, but when you realize that that's 1,000 people that on a 32-degree night or a 30-degree night in San Antonio are going to have something to keep them a little warmer, that's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth a certain amount of time and outlay. I'm a fairly cynical person.
No.
Yes.
What?
Believe it or not.
No.
It's something I've even thought about, maybe trying to make those are big changes. Your diet is a big change, but it's not as big a change as changing who you are. I'm a fairly cynical person, and I've really recently realized that there may be a need to really change my outlook on some things. That being said, I understand the folks that are weary of this for whatever reason, whether you don't buy into the idea of arena football or you've been burned by the Commanders and Wings and Talons and
the list goes on.
Yeah.
Previous
gunslingers. And, so I get all of that. I understand where you're coming from because I'm a cynical person myself. I will tell you that I see enough evidence right now to know or to believe that something is happening here, because I see a group of guys that do not have millions of dollars to their name laying out a substantial amount of money expecting a return on that investment.
Right.
This is not a write-off. This is not, if this doesn't work out, we can just write it off and it'll be fine. That's not the position that these guys are in. This ownership group is not those guys. That's everything we've had here in San Antonio before were guys that could do that. This is not.
And even in their profession, Hector, he's a sheriff, correct?
Yep.
And then Jason works in a hospital.
Yep.
And so they're already giving back to the community. Just going over the things that we've done as a team, as an organization. We had the can drive. We had the fan drive. We had the toy drive and now a blanket drive. I mean, how many organizations can say they've done all that within like 6 months?
Right. And it's not just at the top. It's not just ownership. It trickles all the way down. It's ownership. It's Coach Tony. And then from Coach Tony down to the players have dedicated a lot of time into these things.
They have.
And besides all the stuff, all the community events and fundraisers, just watching what they're doing, the work they're putting out on the field at practice, they're serious. Like, they're really trying to build something here. They're putting out all their effort, and it shows the type of team that looking at it from the ownership down have tried to build together. I mean, they've got a really, really solid foundation to build on. So, I mean, there's definitely stuff happening here.
And you see the age ranges. There's some young guys there, and there's some older guys there. And so they're all giving 100%, because for some, it might be their last chance.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're taking on those leadership roles that they need.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an incredible way that I think this team is connecting with the community in ways that, they haven't played it down yet. They haven't put on official game day uniforms yet. They've done training camp, but they haven't even had a, finalized roster practice yet. That's coming, and we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes. But they've already, you just outlined several ways they've already reached out to the community, given back to the community, seeing very little income as a team.
True.
But they're already laying it out there, not only dollars and cents wise. I mean, do they have a finalized place to play?
I don't know.
No. There's still, I mean, COVID
Things up in the air.
Man, COVID is messing with that.
Yeah.
And we can talk a little bit about that in one of the later segments. But do they already have the field purchased? Do they already have the turf? Yeah.
Yep.
Do
they already have the dasher boards in place? Yeah.
Yep.
Like they've already got the equipment they need to ready to roll into. So
do they have someone to call the game?
We're going to talk about all of that in a minute. So I get that folks are concerned. Like I get the idea of being cynical and being like, I'm going to wait. Like I've heard folks I respect. Eric DeVries said, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
I'll be at games, but I'm not buying a season ticket package. I'm not buying merch until I know that this thing is here. And I get that. I do. I understand that kind of mentality.
But they're our friends, and so we love them.
But I'm telling you, if you're on the fence, I see evidence of good things happening around this team. So we're going to take a break there. We're going to be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit about training camp, because training camp has wrapped up now. They had their final training camp, and we're going to talk about some of the X's and O's, because we've been able to be out at camp some, watch some of the players. I know there are some players that have been cut. I know there are some players that have been cut and may be coming back.
That's true.
And so we're going to talk through some of those things. So stick with us right here. Smokin Gunz Podcast. We'll be back in just a minute. All right. It is, we're not fooling anymore. Like it's gunslinger time. It's football time.
We're getting right in the thick of it.
We are. And so what we need you to do is we need you to sponsor this show.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have lots of opportunities to sponsor. We can put your name on top of the show. It can be the Smokin Gunz broadcast brought to you by your business, or we can put your name on our mobile studio.
Yes.
We have been not only here at the hideout, we've been on the west side of San Antonio, where we recorded before, but we can also be out at special events, and we'll be out at some special events, some tailgating events.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that kind of stuff as we get into the season. We can put your name, your business's name right here on the mobile studio.
True.
Brought to you, the Your Business Here mobile studio.
Yep.
We can do all of those things, or we can just read your ad. We can run your ad right here on the show as part of the show in the midst of things. All of those are opportunities. All of those sponsorship opportunities are there.
And opportunities to fit every budget.
Absolutely.
That's right.
It's not expensive.
Be creative.
It's really not expensive to be a part of the Smokin Gunz podcast. We can share all of the information with you, how expensive it is, what opportunities we still have available. All you need to do is email us at SmokinGunzPod@gmail.com. That's Smokin.
No G.
Guns.
With a Z.
POD @gmail.com. And we will get you all the information and get you set up on how to sponsor the show, how to be part of the show. And we can keep this thing going.
For sure.
I mean, we're going to keep it going either way. But it sure be a lot easier to keep it going.
That'd be a lot funner with you on board.
It would be. It would be a lot funner with you on board. We love our sponsors. We give them lots of love. We get their information out every chance we can. And we would love for you to be a part of that. So email us at SmokinGunz, Smokin no G, Guns with a Z, POD, @gmail.com, and we'll get you all the information about being a sponsor for the Smokin Gunz podcast. Speaking of our great sponsors.
Yes.
Teardrop Pepper Company.
Love them.
Oh, yeah.
It like if you haven't tried it yet, you're missing out.
Definitely.
You've missed out. If you didn't give this away as Christmas gifts, it's too late now.
Too late.
I did.
Did
Stocking
you?
stuffer. Yes.
Stocking stuffers.
Uh-huh.
Perfect little bottle
Yes.
right
Yeah,
down in
they're-
the stocking.
Oh, excellent.
They have 2 different flavors for you to choose from. They have the golden habanero,
Yummy.
really good. And then they have the Supreme Serrano.
Serrano. Yep.
Is that what it's called? Supreme Serrano?
Supreme
I haven't
Serrano.
tried that one yet. I think you're the only one at the table that's tried that, Leo. How
Yeah,
is
I've
it?
tried them both. I like
I just
them
have
both.
to order more
The
'cause
golden habanero is still my favorite because it's so diverse. But yeah,
Oh, man, it's good.
Just on pizza alone. Oh,
it's just
Oh,
the
it's so good.
sweetness of it. It's that spice, but also sweet. So
So the opportunity has passed for you to use it as stocking stuffers or gifts at your office Christmas party. That's rough.
yeah.
You should have done that. If you didn't do that, you should have done that. But
You should listen to us.
you need to get it now because tailgating opportunities are
That's
coming
right.
so soon.
That's right.
And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going to want to
You're gonna
have,
need.
you're going to need to have some of this stuff on hand for your tailgating
Adventures.
parties, right?
oh yeah,
So Teardrop Pepper Company is online at www.teardroppepperco.com. Use the offer code ARENA, ARENA,
ENA.
and you'll save 10% on your order, which is nothing to shake a stick at. 10%. Hey, like we say, if you have the money to spend, go ahead and bypass the offer code. If
Who
you're
would
one of
do
the,
that? But who would do that?
if you're one of those
send
people
your
that likes to
10% to
save,
me.
if you're one of those people that likes to save some money, though, use the offer code ARENA, save 10%. Also, follow them on social media at Teardrop Pepper Co. on all of the Instagram, Facebook. I believe they're even on Twitter. And follow them for all of the new creations and recipes that they drop out there. It's great stuff.
You'll love it.
TeardropPepperCo.com. Give it a try. Smokin Gunz podcast, Philip Higginbotham, RC Woods, and Leo Yamas. So, training camp is something that football fans always love. And we didn't get one this year in the NFL. We didn't get a real solid, like a real sort of training camp preseason kind of time. We've gone through Gunslingers training camp, and it did not look like a traditional training camp, and it shouldn't have, because while these are professional football players, they have other jobs. They have other things that they do. So 2 days a week. What did they go? About 8 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. It's been a couple of months. Yeah.
8
Yeah.
to 10 weeks, something like
And
that.
they had a week off for Thanksgiving. I
They
think.
did. So we've been out to practice. We've watched. They invited you out to practice, Gunslinger fans. Some of you came.
So,
I know we saw Warren out there a couple of times.
oh yeah.
But on a whole, you stayed away. And I'm going to say that may be the right call for some people, because there were nights that were great. There were nights that were rough.
Not as great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did see improvement from beginning to end. I feel like you saw improvement in the team.
For sure.
You saw some chemistry build.
We've seen some guys come in. We've seen some guys
Leave.
leave.
Yeah.
We've seen some guys come in and leave.
That's true.
Yep.
You had a friend, actually, that you knew before Gunslingers ever came about. Somebody
Right.
that you went to church with.
Yeah.
Came in, gave a go. Wasn't exactly what they were looking for. So, I'm not going to say that's it, but, he may come back in. But he came in and left through training camp, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
We've gotten some ideas of who the players are you're going to want to watch. At the quarterback position, we were talking pretty heavily at the beginning of camp about Armand Lott.
Right.
Good.
And you're going to want to watch Armand Lott.
Oh yeah, he's great.
But you're not going to watch him at the quarterback position.
No,
He's moved.
they moved him.
They've moved him over to a wide receiver position, which takes advantage of some gifts that he has. Both some speed and agility issues that are not issues, opportunities that he has that he may not have been making great use of at the quarterback position.
Right.
that he will be in the wide receiver position. And it's never a bad idea to have a guy that is gifted enough to be your quarterback, but athletic enough to be a wide receiver on the wide receiver spot.
Yeah, ask the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, besides that, he's a great leader. I've always seen him at
He
all
is.
the
He
events.
is definitely.
He's
a
incredibly
leader on the
vocal,
team.
great leader. I'm not saying anything out of school here because they were joking about it the other day. Jason specifically loves Armand in the wide receiver position. Every time Armand does something impressive at practice, Jason will puff out his chest a little bit and be like, see, I told you, this is the guy. This is the guy. And then anytime Armand, misses a pass, makes a mistake, because those happen,
Yeah.
Jason will give him a hard time. You're making
He
me look
loves
bad.
giving him a hard time.
You're making me look bad because I've been going to bat for you. Now you're making me look bad. But Armand will be. So what that means is that's one of the 3 quarterbacks we went into camp with.
Right.
That is not going to be a quarterback option a majority of the time. Another thing that's great about having a guy like Armand who can throw the ball, who can be a quarterback, playing the wide receiver position is it gives you an extra wrinkle when you want to do something a little fun.
I see a sneak play coming on.
That's a possibility. Like that becomes a possibility. Greg Ward Jr. Was that kind of guy back in the Commanders days that could do that. He had been a quarterback at Houston.
At UH, yeah.
And could do some of that. And we did at least one time
We did
in
see
game. That's something we saw at camp.
At training camp, they wouldn't let us
that
talk
they wouldn't
about
let us
it.
talk about until it actually happened.
Right.
So that's never a bad thing. Also at quarterback, we've got David Oliveira.
Alvera
Yep.
from Castroville.
And he's been playing well.
Now that's a guy that's, I think, has surpassed some expectations for some. I think coming into
camp, he was 3rd on my, like, as I would watch them throw, I'm like, all right. I mean, if he's our backup, okay. One of the other 2, Armand or Chase, will probably be the starter. David has blown past that. Like David commands an offense right now.
he's been putting in work. You could tell, playing the role, doing what he needs to do. He had the long hair coming into, and I don't know if he was serious. It was just a little exchange between me and him when he first cut it, and I was like, "Hey man, cut the hair," and he's like, "Yeah, I got to look like a professional."
Hey.
Oh, I like
And
that.
I didn't know if he was like joking about it or whatever, but that was his response. He's like, "I got to look the part. I got to look like a professional."
It's always interesting
now.
when you
That's
do a
awesome.
show like this for a team, because I know the guys listen, and so when we're talking about them, we're talking to them in a way. I'll be really honest with you. As I watch David, he commands an offense. He gets a little. It's so hard when you're watching the same team practice against itself, because it's like, is that really good for the defense, or is that a area of improvement for the offense?
Who does that favor? Right.
There were times in practice, specifically the other night, that the defensive pass rush would get on him quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He had a tendency to not be sure of what he wanted to do in that kind of moment. So that'll take some time in practice. That'll take learning his receivers and learning what he wants to do. Who's my guy I'm going to go to? Or am I just going to throw this thing away? Which is something coaches are telling him, just throw the ball away.
Yeah.
Ownership is saying, we lose every ball you throw away. So
That's right. Yeah.
be careful.
Don't throw too many of those away. They
because you
cost
throw
money.
them into the crowd.
That's
Crowd
right.
usually keeps them or can keep them in arena football. So be careful about just throwing the ball away.
I'd have a hard time deciding who my go-to guy was, if I were standing back there quarterback too, because at wide receiver, they've got a lot of good options.
Yeah, you're loaded with options.
Yeah.
How about his footwork? Is he a little slow or
No, I'm okay on that. Now, he moves great. Let's see.
Laterally?
Vertically,
vertically?
up and down in the pocket, or back and forth in the pocket, he moves well. I'm not sure about laterally, although when he would move laterally in the pocket the other night, good things happened.
Okay.
And when he had time. So you hear it's almost cliche in the world of football. It all begins up front. I noticed a lot of that the other night. If you give time for things to develop, it went well. If the pass rush or if the rush could get to him, it would fall apart pretty quickly.
Well, just for those, I wish we were live because you could see Philip here going up and down and backwards and forwards. It was really funny with your hand movements, just FYI.
So staying on the offensive side of the ball, we've got lots of weapons in the wide receiver area, and they're adding more. I didn't get a name. He's an addition this week, so I don't even know if we'll see him for very long.
Yeah, we talked on the last show. They're still working.
They're
still bringing in some guys,
Black
and they're bringing
Diamond?
in. So that's our only quarterback option at this point is David. So they're bringing in a guy down from the Northwest, from the Seattle area.
I thought it was Seattle. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I remember.
That we'll get a look at, that will be in line behind David at this point. David's been the one that's been running the offense.
Yeah, for sure.
But those are our quarterback options. We've got lots and lots of really good weapons at wide receiver from Cam Johnson, I think, is the kind of the top level. Khalil, Rashid,
Yep.
Sean Mueller.
Oh, yeah.
He's got some jets
quick,
on him.
Small guy, but quick. And so there was another guy in that exact same mold that was smaller the other night at practice.
So, yeah, you said this new guy's even smaller.
Small, tiny guy. Like tiny. Like we were joking, but he is really a small guy.
Like, who could you compare him to?
But he's incredibly fast and incredibly agile.
Speedy Gonzalez.
So there were some folks that actually called him Speedy Gonzalez, and then there was even a Yosemite Sam kind of reference at one point because of the short guy. And I'm like, ooh, I hate that rabbit. What was interesting about him is he was small enough that he could get lost behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
There were times that he blew past Cody Brooks, who is one of our better linebackers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he blew past Cody Brooks at one point, and Cody Brooks said, man, that's not even fair. I can't see him.
Yeah, Cody's like a heat-seeking missile out there. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense because, you know, I've mentioned before about my son, and he's a smaller guy, and he used to tell me all the time that he took that as an advantage, and he would hear the defense complaining about it when he was running at running back. He's like, Dad, I could hear them saying, I can't see him until he's past the line. Once he's past the line, then good luck catching up to him. Yeah.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yep.
A running back in the NFL that had a couple of really solid years that was that way. Just a smaller guy, kind of a bowling ball sort of guy, low to the ground, which is great for your center of gravity. And man, by the time you get eyes on him, he's past you and he's gone. And this guy, another thing that was really impressive about this guy is, in arena football, you don't just run the ball, you have to go out for passes. He caught a few passes and took some hits. You'd think a small guy going up against some of our better, larger defensive backs and linebackers could be a problem. I watched him. I stood right next to him, actually. I probably should have been further out of the way than I was. He took a pass at one point on a hook out to the sideline, catches the pass, and then takes a hit in the back from a defensive back. I don't remember which defensive back it was. It's not important. He was bigger than him because everybody was bigger than him.
Right.
He takes a hit to the back. When the dust clears, the defensive back is on the ground because he laid out to make the hit. Mm-hmm. This kid's still standing.
He's still standing. He's taking off running.
He took the hit, and he stood there, and I mean, impressive. So he gets there the last week of camp. I don't know if we'll see him anymore. I don't know if he impressed the coaches and the general manager there, Jonathan Young, although he liked him. It seemed like Jonathan liked him. So I don't know if we'll continue to see him, but an interesting weapon.
Yeah.
But the problem comes when you have lots of really good players, you can only keep so many.
It's a numbers game, yeah.
It becomes a numbers game. On the defensive side of the ball, we've already mentioned a little bit Cody Brooks. Caleb Hartfield out there playing defensive back.
Caleb.
Really impressive. Pierre Turner is a guy I think you're going to see.
Oh, yeah. He's the leader out there. He's the anchor.
JB Butler, who we've had here on the show before. And then Jonathan Taylor on the defensive line. Jonathan, Ivan, and Eric were all, they were kind of dicing up our offensive line a little bit on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Now, we're short there. We've got a couple of guys injured. We've got a couple of guys getting, so they were rotating guys in and out. Some guys we had not seen before at offensive line. Caleb in there still doing what he can. Caleb Roller.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Seattle, I think his name is Nathan Mays. I don't know why that name.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Right?
Mays, yeah.
Mays. I think Jonathan was talking about him.
Another guy along the offensive line that we've talked about, we've had on the show a couple of times, that has not been with the team for most of training camp, William Richardson.
Oh, yeah.
Boss Hog. Yeah.
So William was sent away. Boss Hog was sent away because he was on the heavier side.
Yeah, he had some medical concerns. He wasn't doing too good in practice, and he was
having some conditioning issues.
Yeah, at one point he had to go to the emergency room. He had a lot on his
plate.
Yeah.
Remember, he just had a baby.
And just had the baby working
that moving.
No excuses though.
He was sent away. What I understand, and I may be telling this wrong, so don't he was sent away with. We're going to talk to you again as the new year comes around. If you've lost X amount of weight,
right,
and you've been working, maybe we'll bring you back in.
Mm-hmm.
Last night?
Yeah, just yesterday, last night in the evening.
He posted a video
in Louisiana,
live of himself working out in Louisiana.
That's right.
Looks good.
Mm-hmm, he does. Definitely lost some pounds.
He's lost some weight.
Oh yeah,
he's looking good. He's looking svelte. I almost commented, looking svelte. He looks like he's been putting in some work. Now, does that mean we see him back? I don't know. I don't know what that means for the coaching staff. I know that they've got more guys on the roster right now than they can handle, and they have put a self-imposed cut down date here at the beginning of January to be down to the roster that they're going to go with.
And their roster is what number again?
25 on game day, 31 total.
Yes.
They carry 6 on the practice squad, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, 31 on the roster.
I think that's right.
25 suited up for games.
I'm going to pretend those are the right numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're the right numbers.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend those are the right numbers. And there are some places that you have to carry a second quarterback. You're not going to go on to game day without 2 quarterbacks. You have to carry a kicker.
Yep.
We have an awesome kicker.
Yes, we do, Manny.
Manny Nunez, 2 weeks ago. Was that the night you were out there that he was dinging the post?
Yes, yeah. I was there too.
Hitting the post consistently.
Pretty consistently hitting one post from the other side of the soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Kicking from there and kicking at a post. And I don't know if he was meaning to hit the post. I know he was dinging the post pretty regularly.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
They said they had worked him out, I think, in San Diego or something. The NFL did.
Yeah, it seems like they had said something about that. So all told, we've got a good team of guys. They are still so here's the deal. When they get into practice, which will be coming up soon, they'll be getting into a regular practice schedule. If they've imposed, it's not a league imposed cap at this point on players, but they've imposed one on themselves, is my understanding. What that means is for every player they want to bring in and try out,
means one's got to go.
They got to go. Somebody's got to go. So guys that have been working on the bubble at this point, there's not going to be a bubble anymore.
They should be worried.
That bubble's going to pop.
It's going to be a hard line.
Yep.
So there are guys that we've talked about. There are guys we've talked with and spent time around that we may not be talking about anymore. It's always been kind of the way that we handle things, that we don't make a big deal about cut down guys. We're not happy to see anybody leave ever.
No.
And so,
but it's the business.
There'll be names that you may hear us talk about less.
Right.
As we get down toward the day, because the day is coming
faster than we know it.
It is 2 weeks from this Saturday, or 3 weeks?
I want to say 3 weeks, because isn't it the 19th, January?
3
19th?
Saturdays.
3 Saturdays, yeah.
from the very first
Not
preseason game or exhibition game. We're going to talk a lot about
happens.
that here in the
El
final
Paso.
segment of the game, final segment of the show. We're going to talk a lot about what we know and what we don't know about that particular game. But 3 weeks away, and I can tell you right now that while other teams around the league, other teams around our division have already been taking some exhibition games, have already been running some guys out there just to see how they would perform in game situations. That is not how the Gunslingers are handling things. And in fact, they're a little embarrassed by some of the other teams in the division that have been playing against semi-pro teams and losing to semi-pro teams.
Right. And they ought to be embarrassed by that. That's
that's
a reflection on this division, this league.
Yeah.
I can tell you that my understanding from ownership and the coaching staff is that when they take the field, or if they take the field, depending on what COVID does to us, on January 15th, I think I've got that date right, 15th, 16th.
I want to say 19th, but I don't know. I'm
that seems late. When they take the field in El Paso, they will be taking the field with the intention of playing a game-ready scheme and squad and roster.
Right.
There is no plans for this to be the second string just to see what they have. No, they're going into this game expecting it to be live ammunition.
Right. No, it is. You're right.
A live game.
It's the 16th, January 16th. So that gives us this week they're off. They're not practicing, right?
Right.
And then how about the
Christmas.
following week? Are they going to be playing the week of the New Year's?
No, I want to say it was a 2-week break before they start.
Yeah, I think they're off through the new year.
Okay. So that gives us the Saturday of January 2nd, the Saturday of January 9th, and the next Saturday is January 16th, and that's the game.
That's what he said, 3 Saturdays.
You're right.
So they got a late start offensively on some things. We had an offensive coordinator that never seemed to gel very well with specifically ownership. I want to be careful about what I say because, he put some things in place that they're still using. But ultimately, it just wasn't a good fit.
Right.
It just wasn't going to be a good fit.
Right.
And so they moved him away from the team or out of that spot, but it left a vacuum there. And as in the midst of, we've still got camp days, so we've still got to do something, and we don't know what we want to do with the offense. Cheeto, Herbert Gonzalez, our buddy, kind of stepped in and just started drawing up some plays and grabbing some stuff that he had seen utilized. Now, he's a defensive guy, actually, but he started just kind of grabbing some schemes and some ideas that he had seen in his time playing as a player, and developed an offensive scheme out of that.
Created one,
as just a placeholder. We need to be doing something, so let's do this. And eventually the ownership and the coach got together and said, well, he's got an idea of what he wants to do. I guess let's see what he can do. And so now Cheeto is our offensive coordinator, and that's not a bad thing. I think the idea of defensive players and offensive players going into coaching and switching is one of the most genius things you can do.
It makes sense because when you think about it, if you're on offense, you know your playbook. You learn your playbook. You learn your role in that playbook, but you're not studying offenses.
Right.
You're studying defenses. You're studying what you go against because that's what you have to recognize when you're on the field. You're not looking at your own offense. You're looking at what you're facing. So if you're a defensive guy, you're studying offenses because when you're out there, you have to be prepared for what you're going to see. So you really have to know what an offense looks like. So whatever side if you're a defensive guy, you learn your role within that defense, but you're not necessarily studying all defenses.
Right.
You're studying all offenses. So it kind of makes sense to kind of flip-flop because you've got a lot of information in your brain about that side of the ball, having spent all your time on the other side.
For a great example of this, listen to the next time you watch a game on CBS and Tony Romo is calling it. Listen to what he understands about offense. There's a lot he understands about offense, but particularly listen to what he knows about defenses.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about when it comes to the defensive side of the ball because he saw 20 different defenses a year. I mean, once you add in playoffs, which he wasn't in as often as he should have been, but preseason and the 16 games of the season, he saw 20 different defenses a year, or 15 different defenses a year. So he saw lots of different. So there's a lot to be said for taking a guy from one side of the ball and him coaching the other side of the ball because he's seen a lot.
Right.
So Cheeto's going to be your offensive coordinator. He's already been, for the past couple of weeks, putting that scheme in place. They have a playbook. They've been running those plays. It is a very traditional, it looks like to me, sort of arena league scheme where you've got lots of splits off the passing tree. There's not a lot of nines in there. It's a lot of curls and flats and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's pretty traditional.
Arena ball, and Cheeto's he's a arena football veteran. He played, so. Yes.
Well, a shout out also to Cheeto. Not only is he a family man, and not only is he a coach for the Gunslingers, he just graduated from San Marcos.
He did.
Awesome.
That was like last week,
Yeah,
right?
Great
he posted himself jumping into the river. I guess
That's
it's a
right.
tradition.
So congratulations,
on Facebook.
Cheeto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got Cheeto running the offense. You got James Stolt from UTSA.
Yep.
Spent some time coaching over there, running our defense. And then you got Coach Tony Hernandez kind of pulling it all together. And ultimately, the trend is up. If you look at the beginning of camp to now, the trend is up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's what you need to see. They've improved. They've gotten better. I don't know what the rest of the division looks like. I know we talked last episode about some of these names that Allen is bringing in.
Right. But at this point, they're just names on paper.
Right.
They haven't been.
I don't even know if
together.
Terrence Williams is a great name. And he may sell some tickets because people want to go see how Terrence Williams is going to play in arena ball.
What's he look like today?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What's he look like now?
Yeah.
And, what does that do for you? So I'll say this. If I'm a guy who played at UTSA, I think Cody Brooks played at UTSA, right?
Yep.
You've been around football, but you never made it to the NFL. And then the day comes that you're on the schedule and you get to play a guy who caught balls in the NFL. Just based on the mentality of both of those players in that equation, to me, a guy like Terrence Williams, who A, is older, and B, has played on the NFL level, is not going to be giving 100% to me. Or there's potential there that he's not going to be giving 100%. Because this is Arena League, and I'm 35 years old, and I'm making a paycheck, playing football, and making a paycheck. On the other side of that, you got Cody Brooks, hungry, wants to make a name, wants to prove something, and in this moment, this guy's caught balls in the NFL. He's been on TV on Sunday. I like my chances on the gunslinger side of that equation a lot better than I do on the Tiger Cat side of that equation.
For sure. I know at practice I was talking to Pierre, and he was mentioning, some of the other teams getting some names. I said, yeah, but this team has already won up on them. You guys have already been playing together. Yeah. You already have a playbook. You already have plays. You guys are gelling, and they're barely getting names.
They are. The Gunslingers are far ahead of any team I've heard of in our division.
In this division, for sure, yeah.
The Austin Wild is currently in the midst of tryouts. The Tiger Cats are making some signings, but I don't know if they're having a regular practice training camp kind of thing. I don't think they are.
I don't think so either.
El Paso is...
Do we need to talk about that?
I'm not sure what's going on over there. I'm not sure a lot of people know what's going on over there.
They're putting out videos.
Yeah.
But we're going to see exactly how we stack up to El Paso very soon. And then you've got the Bulls, which we need to talk about the Bulls. the Fort Worth Bulls, I think the last episode we talked about the possibility of a team in the North Texas area. I knew that was coming, but I couldn't say a whole lot about it. Now we can say that the Fort Worth Bulls, under the ownership of...
Drum roll, please.
Tyrone Washington.
Woo!
The enemy.
The enemy.
The original
Not
enemy.
the bad enemy.
The original
It's
enemy.
not like COVID.
No.
Formerly of the North Texas Falcons. He was going to put together the Falcons.
That's
That
right.
fell
Right.
through. Now he is with the Bulls out of Fort Worth. I think they're the North Texas Bulls, but
North
they're
Texas
playing out of
Bulls.
Fort Worth. And my understanding is that his co-owner
Uh-oh.
Another drum roll.
is the brother of one Hector Garcia.
That's
Little
right.
sibling rivalry
So we got
going on
some
here.
sibling rivalry.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
this is going to be
With
good.
the Fort Worth Bulls and the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Is it big brother against little brother?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would be. So that and they're just like they are behind because they just finalized things and they're just moving into the league. So we're far ahead of anybody in our division at this point.
Yep.
We've got a full training camp under our belt.
Check.
We know what we're doing in a lot of the places on both sides of the ball.
Check.
And we have question marks, but we know where those question marks are.
Yep.
That's a good place to be. Would you rather have no question marks at all? Sure. Who wouldn't?
That's not going to happen for any first-year organization at any level, though.
In the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah, on top of that.
I mean, a
And
lot of
the
things
enemy.
working against you right now, but you do have question marks. I'm not going to lie and say we're 100% ready to go. No, there are
right.
question marks on this team, but we know where those are. Like we're aware of where those are, and they're taking steps to identify and eliminate those question marks or fill in those blanks. So,
And they have the best podcast in the entire
This
AL.
is true.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
come
yeah.
on. No one can compare to that.
I mean,
Come on.
so much so that they're not even trying.
Not even.
They're not even
close.
putting anything out there because we're just ahead of the game,
That's right.
and they know that. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about El Paso. We're going to talk about the game in El Paso because we know some things. We can share some things.
Yeah.
And we don't know some other things, and we can share that we don't know those things. So
Sure.
we're going to share all of that information with you and get you ready to participate in El Paso, in the game in El Paso, in whatever way that looks like.
With Los Bucaneros.
Okay. Does that mean Buccaneers?
That means Buccaneers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, yeah. Then, yeah, with them.
In Spanish, yeah.
So stick with us we're going to take a break right here. Stick with us, and we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to the Smokin Gunz podcast. We'll be back. Smokin Gunz podcast is excited to offer you a way to be a part of our team by supporting the show on Patreon. This is a great way for you to get involved, for you to
for
just
sure.
jump in and be part of the team.
Part of
Join
the
the-
family.
Join the crew.
So
Join
what-
the posse.
all
right.
you can do, or all you need, join the. I love it.
Yeah.
Join the posse.
The posse. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/SmokinGunzPod. Smoking no G, guns with a Z, Pod. And you can support the show at a $5, $10, or $20 a month level. We have Patreons at all three of those levels that support us currently. We love them very much. We're very excited
yeah.
about their willingness to be a part of the show, and you can be part of that. And look, we realize that some people just can't do that.
Right?
We're not upset with you. We're not mad at you.
No.
But if you have the ability to help us out and help us make this show go, you should do that.
That's true.
You should jump on and just help us out with $5 a month or $10
Like,
a
how
month.
much is a cup from Starbucks? A coffee?
I don't know, $7, $8,
Yeah.
$9 now.
This is cheaper than
Something
that.
like that.
This is cheaper than that. You know, help us out with $5.
It really makes a big difference.
It does.
And
Yep.
as we get into the season, as we get exclusive content, as we get exclusive news, you're going to be the first people we share it with. It's not like you're going to be the only people we share it with, but you're going to be the first ones. You're going to get a notification on your phone. When the schedule hits, I'm not going to post it online on Facebook first.
No.
I'm going to post it to our patrons first.
Right.
And then I'm going to post it over to our Facebook page a little later. But you're going to get the first opportunity to get all of the news if you're one of our patrons, not because we want to hold things back from you, but we want to reward those folks that are jumping on board and being part of what we do. So if you're able, go online, patreon.com, SmokinGunzPod, Smokin' no G, Guns with a Z, POD, support the show, be part of the team. We would be ever so grateful.
So honored.
Smokin' Gunz podcast, Philip Higginbotham, R.C. Woods, Leo Yamas, sitting around the table here in the hideout at Gunslinger Central, discussing the fact that this will be the last segment of the Smokin' Gunz podcast in 2020.
We shall not miss that year.
Not going to miss 2020. Although,
we've had fun.
It is the year that brought us the Smokin' Gunz podcast.
That's true.
It is.
If you're looking for positives, and you have to really look for positives in 2020.
Yep.
We did have the beginning of the Gunslingers organization and certainly the beginning of the Smokin' Gunz podcast here in 2020. That's a good thing.
Yep.
Like that's positive. That's something.
We've had some good, like, I love my my little signage that I have on my car. And then we have some good merchandise from the Smokin' Gunz.
We do.
You know? So we've had a big jump from our last podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we've made some strides.
You know?
We've got T-shirts. We've got
we have our own
hats.
equipment.
Hats. We've got our own equipment. We haven't paid for our own equipment yet, but we got our own equipment. We do have a mobile studio.
Yeah.
Insert your name here, mobile studio.
We have sponsors.
We have a few.
We could
use some more.
Patrons.
We got patrons.
We got patrons.
My gosh.
Been good, yeah.
That's been good to us.
And how about the name? It's grown on you, right?
It has.
And the Bang Bang Shh. Remember the Bang Bang?
Bang Bang Shh.
Well, Bang
That's
Bang.
not really how it goes. But there you go.
Okay. You didn't like it at first, right?
I didn't. I was not a big fan of the Smokin' Gunz with the Z.
Uh,
It was not my. I really got on board with it once we started developing the logo. Once the logo started coming together, I was like, I can handle this. But we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Football's here. And as we move into 2021, football's really going to be here because we've got our first exhibition or preseason game scheduled for January 16th in El Paso. And so you want the good news or the bad news?
Hit us with the bad news first.
I was going to say the good.
The good?
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to go with Leo here. I think I'm right. I think
the bad
news.
Golly.
Get it out of the way. El Paso is one of the hot spots for COVID
Right.
right now. And so El Paso city and county is not allowing any large gatherings of people. So to be able to put this game together, and right now it's still, as anything is in COVID world, it's still a question mark as to whether the game can 100% happen.
Right.
Up in the air.
We know for sure, though, that even if it happens, no fans will be allowed in the facility.
Yeah. So no party bus. Sorry
No party
about that,
bus.
Warren.
That sucks.
No fans making the 8-hour drive out to El Paso to join us for the Gunslingers' first game. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Like, that is not the atmosphere we were all hoping
Not
to
at
have.
all. I was hoping for tailgating.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Tailgating the whole way up there.
Basically, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if you get a party bus,
Party bus.
like, you can pregame the whole way there and the whole way home.
I was going to think about stumbling out of the bus.
But that's not going to happen. So you may say, well, that's really a bummer. How am I going to keep up? How am I going to follow? How am I going to watch?
How would you do that?
How am I going to be part of the game if I can't go to the game? And this is where the good news comes in.
That's right.
Okay.
Woo!
Because I can share with you that the Gunslingers game will be available live on YouTube and Facebook Live. This is the plan. Let me say it that way.
Say it this way.
The plan is for the game to be live, broadcast live on Facebook Live on the Gunslingers homepage, our Facebook page, as well as their YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
there's more.
And there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Make sure you're sitting down.
The Gunslingers have asked Leo and myself, along with RC, to do some ancillary stuff around the game.
There you go.
But Leo and myself will be the broadcast team.
Woo!
How about that now?
Yeah.
So we have connected with Jonas Clark, our good buddy Jonas Clark.
Good friend.
Yep.
And he is going to help us put together the live broadcast. We will definitely broadcast this first preseason game
How exciting.
in El Paso. I will be on play-by-play, and Leo will be doing the color analysis.
I like color.
Color.
And I'm just hanging out.
Go color.
So let me just ask you. let me. So I was watching, football the other day. I was watching my Denver Broncos.
Sure.
And of course, I had some very colorful words to go along with that game, as you can imagine. How my team is doing.
Right.
And then I stopped myself and I said, when I do the color analyst, I wonder if I'm going to be allowed to say that.
You can't.
I was just like beep beep beep. And I'm like, I mean, it's just YouTube and Facebook, right?
It is. It's YouTube and Facebook, but I think we want a slightly more professional.
We want family friendly, of course.
Family friendly game. It will be. We're gonna have a couple of cameras. We're gonna do our best to put together a top flight broadcast for you guys back here in San Antonio, because we know that that's the only way that you can check in and you can watch. So we are efforting both on a budget, which, by the way, if you want to sponsor
that would be
any
great.
portion of that broadcast, you need to reach out to the Gunslingers. They are taking care of all of that.
Yep.
So reach out to the Gunslingers and say, hey, I've got a business. I've got an ad I want to run during the broadcast. It will be, not only will it be live, but it will be available on their YouTube channel after that.
Yeah, out there to stream.
Great opportunity.
So you could get your business or your friend's business or whatever on that broadcast. They are taking care of all of that. The Gunslingers directly are. So do that as part of that. But we are putting it together on a budget. But one of the great things about the year that we've been through is some people, like yours truly, have learned a lot about how to do streaming events and online events. There was a period, I don't know if you'll remember, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, there was a period where church had to go online completely. For about 5 or 6 months for some people. I think we did it for 3 or 4 months, where church had to be online only.
Right.
All of a sudden, your buddy Philip here went from the youth minister who hung out with teenagers and, talked about farts and Jesus.
Wow. Those two go together?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. All of a sudden became the tech pastor who learned how to live stream stuff.
There you go.
And we're bringing in a guy who knows a lot about live streaming with Jonas Clark, who's done a lot of that kind of stuff. So we've seen some broadcasts from other teams in our division.
Yeah, we've set some goals for ourselves.
That is somebody holding an iPhone.
So the standards are low. We're going to be way above that.
With no commentary at all. I can tell you we're going to do better than that.
We'll be better than that, yeah.
We're going to put together something, just like the Gunslingers want to put something together that the city of San Antonio is proud of. We want to put together a broadcast that is going to tell the story of the game in a way that you could be proud of, because this is the first chance a lot of people are going to get to see the Gunslingers.
Right.
And we want to put a product out there that you can be proud of being a fan and say, hey, this is something that you're going to want to see when it comes to San Antonio. Take a look at how awesome this is. So we're not going to be holding an iPhone and live streaming on Facebook from an iPhone that we're holding in our hand kind of deal, which unfortunately is some of the stuff that we've seen out there.
Right.
We're going to go way beyond what that capability looks like. So we're going to be bringing you the game live there on the 16th, and you'll be able to watch it after that too, which means you can watch it a second and third time because you're all going to be watching it live,
right,
with us. But you'll be able to watch it online.
And I think, I'm sorry. one thing that when I cook, I always tell my husband, I said, did it taste good? And he's like, oh yeah, it was good. I go, you know what the secret ingredient is? And he's like, what? And I'm like, love. And I truly feel that with this, we're going to add our own special ingredient because we know the team. We love the team. We know the players. So even though we're there at the game and doing the play-by-play, we can do that extra mile because we actually know them. We know the team. We know the players. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there was some talk about them maybe bringing in some large names. Philip Higginbotham and Leo Yamas are not large names for the broadcast team.
No.
I've done some broadcasting for high school football, but nothing on the professional level. I don't think you have either.
No.
And so there was some talk about bringing in names, like large names, like names people would recognize.
Names people would, get excited about.
There was a couple of problems with that. It took a certain amount of money to do that.
Yeah.
That they wanted to spend on some other places and in some other places. The other thing it did is that those people had no connection to the team.
Right.
Like they would be coming in and doing their job professionally because that's what they do, but they would have no real connection to the team. And so ultimately, I don't want to speak for the Gunslingers organization, but it came down to, we know these guys, they know us, and they work cheap. So
don't say that we're cheap.
So we'll see what they can put together for us. I don't know if this will extend into, I know some discussion has happened already, extending into the regular season. We're not to that point yet. Let's do one.
Let's get one under our belt.
Yes.
Just like we used to hear all the time back in our previous iteration, we would talk about second and third season things. And we always heard the same thing from the leadership around the Commanders. It was, let's get one season. Let's get one season under our belt. Well, we're going to kind of take that sort of mindset and say, let's get one game under our belt and make sure we know what we're getting into, and then we'll move forward from there. But we've already had some conversations about going into the season and broadcasting and what that will look like. I can tell you that whether it's Leo or I, those games will be broadcast. That's a league mandate.
Yep.
That they broadcast those games on a streaming service for fans to keep abreast.
So they can follow the team. Yeah.
Yeah. And they are working on, now, just like anything else, there may be a subscription package at some point.
Right.
That's just kind of the world that we're living in. You may have
business.
you may have an AAL payment to, you may have to pay to stream the games. I don't know. I know there's some discussion about that. I don't know if they'll actually put that together, but they do.
That's the world we live in,
though.
Everything costs something. So, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to watch my Stars and Rangers because Fox Sports Southwest has disappeared off of every service. Like, they're not on any services anymore. AT&T is the only one that has them anymore.
Ugh.
So Spurs, your Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs. Yep.
Yeah, you got DirecTV?
Not anymore.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
how are you going to watch Spurs games?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's rough. Wow. I wouldn't be able to watch my Mavericks either way because we're not in the Mavericks area. So it is what it is. I'll have to wait till they play the Spurs or they're nationally broadcast unless I want to buy NBA League Pass. Guess what I don't want to buy?
You're not going to buy that.
Yeah.
NBA League Pass. I might spring for NHL's Center Ice, I think is what they call theirs. But I'm not going to do that for the Mavericks right now. They're going to have to prove something.
Oh, okay.
KP's going to have to stay healthy longer than 6 games. They're going to have to actually prove something to get me that excited about the Mavericks. But, yeah, Spurs games, hard to find now.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that too much. We just got off of DirecTV, and we're using another streaming service right now.
Yeah, DirecTV is the only one carrying them right now, carrying Fox Sports Southwest. It is what it is. It's the world that we live in.
That's how, them's the breaks. But on the positive side, all you Gunslingers fans, all you Smokin Gunz fans that have followed us, you're going to get to watch have a opportunity, whether it's a pay service or not, to watch your favorite team
and they're
play.
I mean, that's not, don't quote me on any of that. I know that's been a conversation, but I don't think that that's anything that is right around the corner.
Right.
And
while you get to watch them play, you get to hear your favorite voices.
That's true.
or mine. So we're gonna be bringing you the game. I think RC's gonna do some stuff. We're gonna try to put together some stuff before the game that we can load in some player profile kind of things, so that you can get an idea of who these players are. We know them, and we've gotten to bring you some of their stories. But RC is maybe gonna bring us some more of those stories throughout that game, and we'll see what happens.
It's kind of exciting.
A new adventure.
It's another adventure. All of this is new. Like all of this is new for some of the gunslingers ownership. Certainly new for us on some levels. And this is just a new step. But I'll tell you, the way things have worked out so far, everything's gone well. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about this, just like I've been excited about the rest of the process up to this point.
I was even told I get a pass. Like a media pass.
Like a media pass.
A real one.
You can't be a fan though. If you have a media pass.
We'll see if it gets ripped away from you.
I hope not. Good God.
So that's the big news is we're going to be bringing you the Gunslingers game on the 16th from El Paso, live into your homes. Figure out how to get YouTube on your TV. If you got a smart TV, you already got it figured out. If you don't, go buy a Chromecast. That's $35 or whatever. A Roku. I think Roku has a YouTube channel. Google TV, I think, is the new thing. That's the big thing this Christmas, right? Google TV. I don't know.
There's Fire TV out there.
Yeah, you can get a Fire Stick.
We have a Fire Stick.
We do Chromecast at my house. Love it. But Fire Stick's out there and Roku. I think those are the three.
We got Fubo.
Oh, do you have Fubo?
I got Fubo, or Fubu. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know.
We got to talk about that all offline because I'm trying AT&T TV now, which is DirecTV streaming service.
Yep.
Not so happy.
I loved Hulu Live. Like, I'd still be paying for Hulu Live. They went up $10 on me. I'd still be paying it if they'd have kept Fox Sports Southwest. But they didn't. Is what it is. But that doesn't matter. YouTube is available on any of those streaming to your TV kind of services, smart TVs, Google Chromecasts, your Fire Stick, your Roku, all of that kind of stuff is available there on your on YouTube or Facebook. You can cast Facebook, I think, to a lot of that stuff.
That might be easier for some people.
So you can watch it on your big screen TV. You can gather together with your friends or not, depending on how you feel about the whole gathering thing.
That's right. No more than 8, right?
Right. 8, 10, whatever it is.
I don't know. Or eat outside.
So that's the big news is that game will be available online, free, at least for now. And Leo and I and RC will be all a part of that broadcast team that will bring you that game. So that's exciting.
Yes,
that's exciting news.
In one way or another.
No, it's just exciting.
It is exciting. I'm saying, but I'm not going to be, you guys are going to be kind of rolling with it. I'm just going to be,
Now let's talk about the asterisk that is COVID on top of all of that.
The enemy.
The enemy, the true enemy.
That is the true enemy.
Of everything. We expect right now with the restrictions and everything in place as it is in El Paso to be able to have the game. We're making plans that direction. But I would be lying to you if I said I was 100% sure that this game was going to happen.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Nothing's 100% right now.
Because nothing is 100% right now. So that is the plan. That is everything going forward. But COVID has really, really, I don't know if you've noticed, listener, or you two guys.
Okay.
COVID's messed stuff up.
Oh my God, beyond.
Really?
I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, we did. We noticed that. We saw something on TV about it.
We should have a schedule in our hand by now for the American Arena League. We don't.
That's okay.
Nope.
And it's because you have venues in, 15, 16 cities that all are trying to make a determination on what they're going to do with COVID restrictions. And then they've got to figure out what the schedule is. And so let's talk about San Antonio alone right now. Okay. And I'm not doing this with any necessarily any inside information. But let's just talk about what's going on with Freeman Center. You know, because you've been there.
Yes, I have. They have testing going on
COVID
right
testing.
now.
Yeah,
COVID
they
testing.
They have federally funded COVID testing.
Yes.
Federally funded dollars are big dollars.
Yeah.
And so if you can
5 or 6 days a week.
if the U.S. government says we want to use your home for something and we're going to pay you lots of money to do it, you do that.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, Freeman has done that. And do they know when that's going to end? No.
No. They
So that's one possible venue for
Right.
the gunslingers. And then there's the Alamo Dome. I don't know if you knew this or not, but the Alamo Dome is in pretty high demand.
It is.
Yep.
There are basketball tournaments. There are high school events, high school sports events, and high school other events.
Yep.
There are all kinds of events that go on at the Alamo Dome all the time.
Trucks.
Monster truck events.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And all of those organizations that the Alamo Dome works with, the Gunslingers are just one of those. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with all of those right now.
That's right.
And so that is one city out of 15 or 16 across the league. And that's what's going on here. The same thing that's going on here is going on in every other city across the American Arena League.
Yep.
And so if you're frustrated that you haven't seen a schedule yet or you haven't been able to buy your season tickets, we feel you. But I guarantee you it's not, oh, this isn't going to happen. Oh, this is another one of those things.
No, it's
It's
not.
not.
Our
It's-
hands are tied. I mean,
There's
COVID.
It's COVID messing with more stuff.
One more thing.
One more thing that COVID is messing up. Now, with vaccines that are making their way out right now, and I'm hearing, well, it just depends on who you're listening to, I guess. But spring to summer may be safe time where things can start happening again.
We'll hope.
Yeah,
Knocking on wood.
that's the best we can do right now.
Yeah.
Is just move forward as if this is all going to be good by the time we get there. Reminds me, I used to watch NASCAR a lot when I was a kid. My dad was a big car guy, and so he loved NASCAR, and I watched NASCAR. You know, on those big, like Daytona, Talladega, those big banked tracks.
Yeah.
You know what you do when there's an accident in front of you?
You duck?
No.
No?
You know how you handle it?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
You drive straight for it.
Oh,
You drive straight at it.
okay.
Because on a banked track,
It's going to come back.
it's not going to be there by the
It's
time
not
you
going to
get
be
there.
where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You drive at
Right
it
now.
because it's not going to be where it is.
That's the one spot it's not going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was,
you don't
but
know where
You don't know where it's going.
you don't know where it's going, but you know that where it is right now,
It's not going to be
it's
there.
not going to be there, most likely. So you drive straight at it.
Got it.
That's the best we can do. In a COVID world, we just gotta we look and
We're
we go,
gonna drive
we're gonna
right
go
ahead.
that direction, and we're gonna hope that it's out of the way by the time we get there. And that's how we have to handle things right now. It is the world that we live in at this time and place.
Good analogy.
It's the best I got. So, but
There's more.
well, don't be frustrated. I was gonna say don't be frustrated, don't be upset. Be frustrated, be upset. COVID sucks.
We're all in the same boat.
But recognize that there's a lot to get excited about.
Right.
Like we've seen it. Some of you have seen it. The players, the coaches, the owners. Man, if you haven't been around them yet and felt some of the excitement of all of this coming together, it is better than the previous venture.
Oh yeah.
Like this is more exciting than the Commanders ever were.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm more excited about this than I ever was about the Commanders.
I feel more invested.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this is a team. Look, I don't want to talk bad about anything that went on back then because it was really an amazing opportunity for us to be involved with something.
Right.
But we, the fans and we, the show that was involved, had no voice. Like we just didn't. They were going to do things the way they were going to do them. There were things that we, it would be really interesting in. For instance, Leo had a whole bit that we did for the Orlando Apollos.
Oh yeah, the spoils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it became a big deal for the week leading up to that game, which was a big game.
Yeah.
Because they had those orange socks that looked like chicken legs.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, and their logo was a big O that could be an egg almost.
Yeah.
There were lots of things. So we actually floated the idea of using some chicken sound effects and some of that kind of stuff because
the chicken dance.
Yeah, the chicken dance.
Which I can do really well.
That was not welcome.
No,
they didn't like it.
They didn't like that idea at all. We meant it all in fun. We weren't trying to say anything about the.
They liked it on Facebook.
Apollos.
Well, not the commanders, but
our
followers.
Fans.
Yeah, the fans.
The fans loved the whole thing. The other thing that Marcy Grace went out there and wrote a song.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
For the team.
Mm-hmm.
All about the Commanders. And they kind of sort of used it one time.
And it was very low. You could barely hear it.
We just didn't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
The fans didn't have a voice. The show didn't have a voice because we are kind of a voice, kind of a conduit for fans to get things out to the team. You do hear. I really feel like we do hear. There have been times that we have suggested things that has ended up being the way they've
come
gone
to fruition. Yeah. And we have access to the hideout.
Yeah, we do. So, I'm much more excited about this than I ever was the Commanders. And all the things that we talked about before, the ownership group being here in San Antonio instead of coming into San Antonio, with all of those things. I can just tell you that this is something to be excited about. It stinks that it's COVID world.
Mm-hmm.
It stinks that we can't do things as quickly as we want to, that we can't already have a schedule and season tickets on sale for Christmas and all of those kind of things. Like that would be great.
It's just the current reality we're in.
It is. It's the reality of where we are. But it's exciting. Mm-hmm. There are some really great things happening. If you have ideas as a fan about things that the Gunslingers should do or things our show should do, you should reach out because there's a good chance that you could impact this whole experience at this point. So get excited. 2021 is here.
Around the corner.
It is time for us to start talking about real, actual, on the field, X's and O's football stuff. That is coming sooner rather than later. And 2020 is leaving.
Yeah.
And hopefully taking everything with it that it brought.
Yep.
All of the baggage.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see those first hits. I'm ready to see those first hits into the wall.
Yeah.
That's going to be some fun.
Such an interesting idea because we were out at practice the other night and just the conversation about, that's out of bounds. There is no out of bounds. Like he would be up against the wall, but he's not out of bounds.
He's not out of bounds.
Just a lot of fun. This whole, if you've never watched a live arena football game, it is unreal what kind of experience it is. It is really an exciting experience.
I never have.
It is much more exciting than, I love traditional football. I think that almost goes without saying. It is more exciting. It is more fun.
Wow.
Than a traditional football experience.
A lot of fast action. Yep.
Lots of scoring, lots of action, lots of fun, and lots of hits, like lots and lots of hits. So you're going to enjoy this, and it's here. The year of the Gunslingers is here. Mm-hmm. 2021, as you do your New Year's Eve stuff, realize that the year of the Gunslingers is here. 2021 is beginning.
Jump on board.
Late March, we'll be
in the thick of it.
Yeah, we'll be playing games that matter.
Every week, I think we're going to be on air, right?
Yeah.
We kind of talked
sooner
about that.
rather than later. Yeah, I think we're going to have to start going to a weekly shows. So we're going to need some ideas for what you guys want to know, what you guys want to hear about, and who you want to hear from. Players, coaches, owners, cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, before we sign off, we got to remind people
Yes, I talked to Taylor, our coach, our cheerleading coach, and she's all on board for us sponsoring a young lady or whoever it may be trying out for the cheerleaders.
Yep.
So I'm excited. So get in your video. We want 1 minute, right? It's 1 minute?
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute.
A minute or less.
Yes. Tell us why you want to be a cheerleader for the Gunslingers. And
show us your gunslinger spirit. And
that's right.
I really cannot stress this enough. That's all we want to see is your gunslinger spirit. We don't want...
What?
There are lots of things that you may think that we're trying to garner when we say we want cheerleaders to send in a video. We just want to see your spirit.
It's the family-friendly version of it.
We just want to see gunslinger spirit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so go ahead, get excited. If you're thinking about trying out, we will pay, I think it's $25 the fee for you to try out. That's going to be January.
One person. We're gonna select one person
best.
And do that. We're not going to do that for everybody.
No, just one person. Just one person. The best video that we all agree on. And so I'm excited. So get excited. So.
And when is the cheerleader tryout?
I want to say January 9th.
January 9th.
January 9th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you have any questions, send me a message and I will get the message to Taylor.
There you go. Send RC a message or send us a message on the Smokin Gunz podcast page.
Yeah.
And we will get that information for you as quickly as we can, and we'll get it back to you. But if you're interested in somebody covering your fee for you, if you got all the money in the world and you can afford the money,
go ahead.
Like, do your thing. But if you would love to save $25, then go ahead and give us an opportunity to cover that fee for you.
That's right. And
I'm
going to be there at the tryouts. I'll be interviewing a lot of the girls or whoever may be cheering or
there you go.
Trying
so
out.
You could get interviewed by RC's going to be there, and also a big plus for you, Leo and I are not. So there's that too. Maybe that's a plus for you. But
how is that a plus?
Get us if you're interested in us sponsoring you.
Yes.
1 minute or less. Tell us why you want to be a gunslinger at. A gunslinger.
We don't have the
name yet.
Yeah, we're gonna go with gunslinger at then. Why you want to be a gunslinger cheerleader?
Yes.
And show us your spirit, and we'll see who we can select, who we can send to try out for the gunslinger cheerleaders.
That's right. You can do it. I know you can.
All right. So as we wrap things up, as we say goodbye to 2020, as we say hello to
Sayonara,
2021,
sucker.
Adios.
We are excited about everything going on, and we can't wait for football to begin, and it's almost here. Smokin Gunz Podcast is brought to you by
Texas Sports LMT. That stands for Licensed Massage Therapist. Specializes in sports massage, sports stretch, Swedish, and deep tissue massage. Texas Sports LMT has been in business 8 years and was nominated Best of San Antonio 3 years in a row. She works alongside the San Antonio Commanders, making sure they were game day ready at all times. She has also worked and provided sports stretch to numerous players from the NFL and the NFL Combine. She's actually going in January to the NFL Combine in Florida. She's
nice.
Gonna be busy, yeah. She's excited about that. So sports stretch is structured to be performed on athletes of any size or stature. It is safe for just about anyone who is looking to gain flexibility in order to perform better on the field, in the gym, and in everyday activities. And let me tell you, I'm not going to say who, but someone specifically asked for a gift certificate from her, and me being the person I am, that's what they're going to get for Christmas. Can you imagine that? Wonderful Christmas gift.
Nice.
So give Laura, the Texas Sports LMT, a call to set up an appointment today at 210-459-0176. One more time, at 210-459-0176. It's not how you train, it's how you recover.
Smokin Gunz Podcast is also brought to you by Always Green Lawns of San Antonio. In San Antonio, artificial grass lawns are an incredibly popular addition for many different types of commercial and residential applications. Their turf is child and pet friendly.
Woo!
They design top-of-the-line putting, golf greens, and state-of-the-art landscaping lawn turfs for daycare centers. I don't think they do the putting greens for daycare centers. I've never seen a daycare center with a putting green.
What about Tiger Woods' kid?
That's getting them started early.
I mean, that's true. Tiger Woods' kid probably had a putting green at his daycare center. But they do daycare centers, schools, parks, public walkways, shopping malls, apartment complexes, and they will even do your lawn at your home. Their skilled designers and installers work diligently to create flawless-looking artificial grass applications for locations of all sizes, shapes, and budgets.
What color is your grass right now? Brown?
Like a tannish sort of, yeah.
If you had always green, it'd be green right now.
It's right there in the name.
Kind of like
right.
that wheat color. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all crunchy.
Hey.
For sure. Very crunchy. They provide the look and feel that is superior to any other synthetic grass on the market, offering top quality at great prices to San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Imagine doing away with a portion of your home or commercial property maintenance budget while conserving water, saving time, protecting the environment from pesticides and herbicides, and you don't have to mow anymore.
That's right.
Save money, save time, help the environment with a product that pays for itself. Not to mention, their grass products will make your property look beautiful. Call Always Green Lawns of San Antonio, 210-413-1034. That's 413-1034. Always Green Lawns of San Antonio. Do it. Just find out what it's going to cost to have a beautiful lawn all year long.
Sounds good to me.
Smokin Gunz podcast is super excited to talk a lot about our patrons. Mm-hmm. We have Iris and Mo.
Love them.
Ferrante. We have Herman Robles Jr.
Love him.
Herman.
Woo.
Alba Nava.
Alba. Yep.
We're super excited about. And the owner, the chief, the man who makes it all work, Jason Torres.
That's right. Thank you, Jason.
What happened to your Giants yesterday, man?
Uh-oh. Ooh. We had to go there.
Ooh. I'm sorry, Jason.
We just got kicked out of the hideout.
We just lost our key.
I mean, he's right. But the Cowboys won this week.
And so did the Bears.
Just saying, the Cowboys won this week.
I'm just saying.
My Broncos got destroyed, so I'm just misery loves company.
But we are super thankful. Iris, Mo, Herman,
we love you guys.
Jason,
seriously.
and Alba. They're spectacular. They make the show go in a way that we can't really even just it's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
We are excited about the season coming up, and they make it possible for us to bring you all of the information just by being part of the show and being part of our team. Well, that's it. 2020 is over as far as the Smokin Gunz podcast is concerned.
Besitos, I'm blowing kisses. Mwah, mwah. Bye, adios. Get out of here.
The next time we talk to you, we do have some bonus content we're going to drop from way back. Something that's we've been holding on to in the vault.
Yeah.
Just because I'm super lazy. But from...
he's been super busy.
From the Coach's Corner food drive.
Yes. It was at the food drive.
Yeah. Uh-huh. We got some
interviews.
Who did you interview out there? It was all RC stuff.
It was a couple of the wives, Coach's daughter.
Okay.
So
we're going to be dropping that here this week between Christmas and New Year's. And then we will be back with you in the new year in 2021.
First week of January.
As we get you ready for the year of the gunslinger.
That's right.
So if you need proof.
Can't wait for it.
If you need proof that professional football in San Antonio works, because football in San Antonio works. We didn't even talk about UTSA. They're going to a bowl
Taft.
game.
We didn't talk about Taft.
Well, everywhere has high school football.
I
mean, I love high school football.
But I love Taft. Both of my daughters went to Taft.
So UTSA gets their bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They've already won one bowl game.
There's going to be two.
Did you know that?
They were in a bowl game before, yeah.
Well, no, they've been in a bowl game, but they lost. But this year, they've already defeated one team in a bowl.
What's that?
They were set up to play SMU.
Oh, yeah.
In the Frisco Bowl.
That's right.
SMU pulled out. So we are the Frisco Bowl champions.
They were scared.
They already won none. And then we are going to like I play for the team. The Roadrunners are going to the First Responder Bowl. They're playing the Raging Cajuns.
Yep.
You know what's great about that?
The food?
What's that?
The Raging Cajuns are ranked number 19 in the country.
Ooh.
So if UTSA can pull off a win, it will be a big-time win in a bowl game against a ranked opponent.
That'll be huge for the program, for sure.
That would be huge for the program.
Amazing.
That is on the 26th, the day after Christmas.
Yep. I'm excited.
2 o'clock, I think, 2:30.
I think, yeah, it's in early afternoon.
First Responder Bowl up in Dallas. It is happening at SMU Stadium. SMU wouldn't play us, so we're just going to go to their house and play anyway.
Right.
There you go.
So that's a big deal. But if you need proof that professional football works in San Antonio, we've got the football.
Yep.
We've got the fans.
Got those.
We got the food.
Food.
Yep,
for
that's
sure.
why I'm fat.
We got we got the fun, and we've got the friends. We've got it all right here. Professional
surely
football works in San Antonio, and if you need proof, you don't need to look any farther than the Smokin Gunz.
Bang, bang.